So here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back. So today I got a couple things done already I want to show you. So I got these radiator hoses here. So we got a 90-degree elbow here. And this one is 1.5 inches, pretty sure. And this is 1.25 inches. And I've got this little reducer here. This reducer is dual purpose. So this adapts from this size to this size, but it also has this line in it right here. This line goes right down here. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see. Goes underneath the throttle body. I hope you can see it. Anyway, it plugs right in there, and that is where it's the some of the coolant goes. And it runs underneath there, and then it goes into, I don't know if you can see it, but it actually goes into the cylinder head. Also ran the crank vent line right here. So this is the crankcase vent, runs right into the intake. We've got a brake booster hooked up to vacuum. I've got the filter on, so I got a K&N filter under there. I just put a little bit of oil on that, and then the oil filter sock. It is a little wobbly. I am trying to think of like ways to stabilize it, because it's all being held up by this thing right here. So we'll think of something. There's bolts all around this mass airflow sensor. So it should be as easy as like getting something to go from like here to like that bolt down there on the rail. But we'll do it on this side because there's 3 bolts, maybe. Anyway, we'll get that figured out, get that attached so that's a little bit more stable. Got a serpentine belt on there finally. So the snake belt is on. It was a, this is just for me. Oh, also could be for the future. You never know. You have to look back. It's a Micro V K061031. Yeah, so that's that. And it's on there. And it looks pretty nifty. Pretty happy about that. So yeah, got those out of the way. Now the bottom radiator hose still has not shown up yet. I did try another hose and it didn't work. So I'm just going to have to wait for that thing to show up. It's just taken forever, which is kind of surprising because through Amazon. Normally Amazon's like really quick, but this time it's taken forever. Also, an update for you. I didn't record it, but I'll show you eventually. But we took this tire off and we took the rear rotor off, and the rotor, when the rotor came off, so did the e-brake shoes. This is the lining on the e-brake shoe. They just plumb came off. No good. The brake pads I got were the wrong ones, so we're getting a different set of brake pads. They're going to go in this piston. I thought this caliper, the piston in this caliper was steel. It's not. They call it phenolic. That one's kind of a weird name. Anyway, so we got those, new e-brake shoes, and new rotors. So we'll just have complete new brakes. We already have new brakes on the front with new pads, rotors, and calipers on the front. So it's going to be the same on the back. So it's going to be nifty. What else is in my kangaroo patch here? All right. I went and yanked this from the S10. That would go typically like right in here, like that. But then like there's like nothing to bolt that to. So I got to figure that out. Really, if I could get just like a universal cable, it just needs to be kind of short. You know, we could put that right there or something. I don't know. Can't go right there because that's where OBD2 is going. But, or maybe I just need to extend this part up here just a little bit. But whatever happens, we'll figure it out. So there's that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on trying to get the exhaust started, and waited for this fellow to show up. And this is a 16 spliner. Had a couple different ones of these, but I figured I'd just throw this on. This was a little bit more beefy for the LS swap. This is going to have to be lengthened, but I'm pretty sure we can make the length we need, even if it looks like this. I just need it to be in place so we can fab the exhaust up, and then we'll extend this and get it the right length. Because this is not going to flex at all or like move. So wherever we kind of put it, so probably about right there, we'll lengthen this so there's about that much gap, and this won't ever move. You just kind of need this to collapse enough where you can get it in and out of the truck. And then eventually, when we get to that point, we'll slap some new U-joints in here, get this feller all cleaned up, greased up, we'll be good to go. So let's get this thing flying in the air, and we will get started on the exhaust.
Many hours later.
Let's take you under here and give you a little tour, all right? So I've been busy. This is truly, hopefully that light isn't flashing too bad for you. This is almost, I mean, I have got this extended all the way, and it's still just a hair too short. So, I mean, obviously we are going to lengthen this, but I needed this here so I could see just where everything lined up. Yeah, so trim that bracket. The driveline fits just. And I was able to get the exhaust in and use my little elbow there. Got this thing turned and in. Now this side is completely done up to here. You can see, let me aim it down here. You can see that it's going to clear everything just fine. Comes all the way back. We have plenty of room. So right here, we're going to cut it. We're going to cut it about right here. That is where the muffler is going to go. About right here. Muffler outlet will be about where this is, actually, right here. And then from there, we will run the rest. I don't know, maybe I'll push the mufflers to under here, actually, because there's a hanger there. We could easily put a hanger there. You see me pointing, I just looked at the camera. Hold on, let me turn this back. Anyway, this light's terrible. Yeah, we did a bit of cutting, welding, got that sucker on there, and the brakes, I think I mentioned that earlier, the brakes are coming. We got a whole bunch of new brake hardware because this rear was in rough shape. And there's the rear rotor right there. Can't say I haven't run something like that before, but not on this truck, okay? All right? Anywho.
The next day.
What's up, folks? I forgot the GoPro today, so we're on my phone. But I thought I'd give you this update real quick. So last time I got these little pieces of the exhaust made. So here's the band clamp right here. So this clamps onto the header, which is lovely because it's just those, if you ever need to undo this, you just unclamp it. And the old style is you have like, flange or 2 bolts. Those always rust out. They're impossible to get off without breaking. But this works. I like this. This right here goes in like this on the driver's side. Pokes in like that. Bloop. And I got this 2000 Circle F ceramic coating high heat spray paint. So after testing my neighbor's mailbox, it's going to work perfect on this. In fact, it's like overkill. I actually also found we still had a lot of extra exhaust wrap. And so I wrapped the other side. Let me show you real quick. So I wrapped up this side. This is all welded. This is clamped in. And I wrapped to here. Now I got this straight pipe in right here. This isn't welded yet. And this is still a little loose. So I can weld. Because I still got to weld right there. And bring that around. But that's going to help keep the heat going down. And just, overall just trying to keep heat. Just trying to keep the heat going down underneath, so that way it's not soaking into everywhere else. So I was looking at some mufflers last night, and it looks like the ones I'm probably going to get are the Flowmaster Series 50 Delta Flow. Like that. And They're not that long, so I think the ones I looked at were only 16 inches, so it's not bad. But if we look right there, so there's the 16, it's upside down. But we could run this pipe right underneath the bat tree, and then a muffler would fit right there, and then right after the muffler, we just go up and over the axle. So this side's got plenty of room. I think that's what we'll do. And that also leaves me room for this, because I was thinking about this last night. Last night to me, I don't know what day it is for you. But when this is all in, you know, obviously it's not going to rest on that. We need to make an H pipe. So we need to come from here and basically go down and under like that. So I need another 45-degree angle. And I have that. Stand by. Just kidding, I don't have that. I used them both. So I will have to get one more 45, and basically what they'll do is we'll bring whatever. We'll basically bring a spot from here down to 45, so it'll kind of come like this right underneath the tail shaft here, and it's going to be kind of tricky because we need to cut a hole into this. So we'll get a hole saw and we'll drill it into that, and then we have to be clever with the cut on the exhaust pipe, and it's got to make like a C so it fits over that, like that, and then we burn it in. So yeah, I'm waiting for, I got to wrap up that side, and I'm going to put it right up there. But this side, I'm pretty happy with how that's turning out. And then I got this clamp right here ready to go. So once this is welded on, we'll take this extra, put this clamp on it, and then that will be good to go. And if you'll notice, there's not a single drop anymore. Yeah. So our fix worked. New seal is good. I mean, right now, it's good. All right, on to the rear brakes now. I just ripped off the emergency brake / parking brake shoes. So they rest right in here, and it's like just your traditional drum brake. When you pull on the cable, this comes out on both sides, and then it expands and will basically expands into here and locks that wheel. That's how that one works. And then when you pull the release, they clamp back together. So here's the old lining off of it. That's pretty grody, actually. Kind of impressed. I've never seen the brake material actually separate from the shoe. That one's kind of a first for me, but we're gonna put some new ones in. I got some new ones right there. And I cleaned this up back here, and it looks pretty good. And just kind of been putting some brake cleaner and some PB Blaster. Now right back here is the mechanism. You can see that right there. This is what the cable will pull. And reset this here. This kind of works on this little kind of cam right here. So when I pull, see how that moves that? This little piece right there moves out like that, and that's what spreads the two apart. So yeah, it's kind of got a little bit of, it's a little stiff in there. I got to get some WD and kind of get that loosened up, but it'll be fine once I get some of that in there and we get the new pads or shoes and pads. Got new rotors in there too. Got new brake pads, the right ones, to go into that caliper. This caliper is kind of a goofy thing. They have two versions, and I thought we got the steel piston, but this right here is actually not a steel piston. It's a composite. They call it phenolic, which I feel like is made up, but that's what they call it. Anyway, the seal back here looks pretty good. I don't see anything dripping, or sweating, so I feel pretty good about that. So anyway, I'm going to clean some of this hardware up, and then clean some of this hardware up that I've got to reuse, and then we're going to put the new shoes on. Okay. Took a minute, but got these fellers on there, and I really had to loosen up this e-brake mechanism because it was stuck, but it was able to move really easy by hand. So that should be good to go. Cleaned up the star wheel adjuster right under here. And cleaned the threads up, greased it up, so it should be ready to go too. So now's the time. I put on a new set of gloves. We slapped the rotor on. Also, before I put these on, putting just a dab of this right here against the mating surface for whoever's going to do the rotors in the future. The last ones I had to hammer off, and I just want in the future, these just come right off. Alright guys, welcome back. We finally have brakes on this feller, at least on this side. So I got the brake mechanism all in and hooked up, so I can't pull it because that spring in there is really strong. But I got the new pads, and we got the new caliper, new rotor. So we're gonna be dialed because this thing will have all 4-wheel disc brakes. This side went on actually a lot easier than the other. There's always one side that kind of gives you grief. That's on now. I'm gonna put the tire on. And I think I mentioned it, but just in case it didn't, that right there, you see that gap right here. That's gonna be welded. That is the spring perch, and that is not welded. So right now the U-bolts are kind of the only thing holding the axle and kind of its orientation. So once we get the driveline back, we'll make sure that is in phase with the front, the output yoke, and I will show you how we're going to do that. But anyway, we're going to get this tire back on, slap it on there, and then we're ready to bleed the brakes, truly. Front brakes are done, all the brake lines are hooked up. We just got to bleed them, and we'll have stopping power, which is really exciting. Welcome back, folks, to another week. Today I am working on a few things. Let me show you where I'm at. I'm right here. So I just showed you where I was at. Anyway, how's the lens? It looks good. I got this piece of exhaust pipe in my hand because I am currently fiddling around with the exhaust. Alrighty, so this side is poking out a little bit longer than that side, and I've got my mufflers here. These are Flowmaster Delta 50s, and I think they're going to sound pretty good, but also not be that loud. I didn't want it to be terribly loud. But it'll still have a good classic muscle sound. So holding up the muffler though, right here, plugging into here, it puts it like nearly touching the battery. And the batteries are already going to live a rough life living in this area. We want to like ease its suffering as best we can. So I'm making this piece right here, this little S-bend. It won't go right here. We're going to have to shorten this pipe about right there and put the S further back. But the idea is this S will come down, and then my muffler will be roughly that height. Maybe not that low, but oops. But about like right there is where the muffler will be. So, well, that's no longer attached. Basically, I'm going to put this about right here. We'll drop that down, and then the muffler will basically sit right there. Now, I might push it back just a hair, but we need enough room. We need to, like, I basically can push it back. Okay, all right, there's that. This is my over-the-axle. It's not welded or anything, but this just kind of shows you. This is the over-the-axle tube right here. So the muffler is basically got to end right there. And then this goes over the axle like that. Ooh. Whew. Hefty. So that's what I'm doing. We're fabbing this up. And this is obviously going to sit kind of up like that. It won't be touching that. It'll sit right here. I do have hangers coming. They're in the mail. And what we'll do is we'll be attaching some of the hangers up here underneath the cab. Hang the exhaust. But if I get to the point I want to here soon, I'll probably just zip tie them up for now. Just kind of like hold them. So But let's turn our attention over to here because some exciting things have happened. I don't have a light. I do. Hold on. All right, that's a little bit better. I could probably aim it. Oh my gosh, that's like the sun. And parts are falling everywhere. Okay, let's just show you what I've done. I've got the e-brake cables in and installed. Clipped in just nice. So these are the Ford e-brake cables or parking brake cables going back into the original Ford hardware all the way up until this. This right here is custom. And I drilled the hole a little bit too big, so I just put a washer there. And you know what? It works. So these had to be slightly offset because one of these cables just poked out further than the other. And that's just the way Ford made them. So whatever. And right there, that's the Ford part there. And then this right here is, man, I probably should clean that up just a little bit. I did paint it, but I scratched it just, getting it in there. This piece right here is part of the old setup. And I was able to reuse that, poke that through there, attach it to the S10 side. And then, I don't know if you can see, but back there I've got a bracket too. See if you can see it. I should just pull this exhaust out. Well, anyway, there's a bracket under there. All right. So yeah, so that is where I'm at. So I got this feller. I'm going to weld this up, and then out of this piece, I got to make another one of these, and basically that's going to bring. Oh, look at that! I painted my thumb. It was an accident. I didn't mean to do that, but I painted my thumbnail. Yeah. So basically, the mufflers will just be at the level of the frame. It's not too bad. I like to tuck them up if I can, but in this case, they just kind of got to go a little lower because we don't want to roast that battery. It's like I said, it's already going exposed to a lot of heat. Mufflers kind of hold a lot of heat, but we will put a heat shield in between it and the muffler. Try to keep, let it live. So, but anyway, I want to see if my e-brakes work. So we're going to bring her down real quick and then give it a try. Alrighty, so let's see if I can just push it by hand. I do got this bolted in. So here we go. There is a lot of pressure. Let's see if we can see. Oh yeah. It's still a little loose. So these e-brakes do have an adjustment. So I might have to adjust those shoes out just a bit. Let's see if we can just push just a hair more. And then it is, I feel like it's definitely pulling it. All right, let's just see if we can rock the truck. I don't think they're 100% activated. So we're going to push this in just a hair, take the pressure off it, pull that, and release it. But that's still not bad. Man, there was a lot of pressure on that feller. Got to get a little rubber grommet for this. I got it. Just got to put it in there. Well, anyway, let me show you this too. So I got the coolant lines in for the heater, and got this all bundled up. I do want to get. So I got this hose right here just to keep these from like chafing. I want to get like another section here and just kind of put it in between these. Because when you got vibration and you got heat and like one of these is going to be hot, one of these is going to be cool, and stuff like this. I don't want that to happen. We got to stop chafing. So basically in between these lines I want to put like things like this. So where, the vibration, it doesn't do it. So we got those in down there. This right here is resting against the fender. It's just a tight fit. but I didn't want these rubbing right on the metal. So this right here is just a little sheath, basically, that I made. And then once I get another couple of those in between, I'm going to see if I can get just a big old wrap and just wrap it up and make it kind of look all nice and fancy. So I do have the rear. I also got the bottom radiator hose on. So that's all done up. Like the belt's on. This pulley, we'll see if this idler pulley's any good. I just threw it on because I wanted to put the belt on. Oh, that's unspinning. Yeah, I gotta tighten that filler up. Luckily, the engine, that'll turn the fan in a way that tightens that nut right there, the fan clutch. Right, we should give her a good old hee-ho. Before I put antifreeze in this, I am going to just fill it up with water. Not this time, maybe next day, I don't know. I'm going to fill this up with water and just check it for leaks. I accidentally loosened, just kind of like wiggling stuff up there, I loosened the hose for the heater. So I got to get that tightened back under there. And then we need to put some power steering fluid in it. And then the next time we start it, it'll have water in it. And I just want to run it with some water for a minute. Let's get some of it going through, and then we'll drain it. But I don't know what's in the engine block. It's been sitting for quite a bit. And so I just want to kind of run some water through it, instead of running ATF or running coolant through it. So anyway, that's the plan. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I like that it just looks kind of neat and tidy, and that's what I'm after. Obviously, that green wire is going to get tucked up, so I got to do that. And I need to clean this up, get like some of that dirt out of there. Oh, and the back. This used to have like a piece that locked this down. I got to find it. But that's near the end. No clue if the alternator works. We will figure that out later. Getting the e-brake all done up and getting the cables and getting all the brackets, that took a little bit to just kind of figure out where the cables are going. Now, because I'm going to be making an S, we're going to lower these. Basically, the muffler's going to sit a little bit lower. It's going to be right next to these cables. So I'm going to have to get something to just pull these cables out of the way. Maybe the same shield that we have under the battery. Maybe we'll just have to do that to the side of the cables there too. So yeah, you can see that definitely moved. That little piece there, it moved. So we had it pushed in quite a bit. I probably just need to adjust the shoes in there. It's not that hard. Just there's a little star wheel. I just got to turn it up. That's the update for today. And the next video I want to show you soon will be either it running with some of that water in it and with the exhaust. I'm going to keep working on the exhaust. I'll give you some updates as I kind of make some progress on that. But for release today, there's the update. Hope you liked it.